It's not always about appearances. Sometimes it's just about the taste. Hey everybody, I am currently in my parents' kitchen and I am about to do the pasta salad now. So, okay, I just want to point this out real quick. So typically when you do pasta salad, you usually see it with the Garden Rotini. It's like that spiral noodle that you see that most people use for pasta salad. However, we don't quite have enough because the recipe asks for a pound. We don't have a full pound, so I've already measured out a good bit of a couple of my ingredients already. So I have enough to make half a pound of pasta salad, or half a pound of noodles. I can do half a pound of noodles and make pasta salad based on the measurements that I currently do have for some of the ingredients. However, it's not quite half a pound in this box, because like this whole box is a pound, and as you all see, like the line for the noodles is almost a quarter of the box. So my thing is, at the end of the day, pasta salad is noodles, and really what makes the pasta salad is the dressing and everything else that you add to it, not necessarily the noodles. So honestly, you can use any kind of noodles you want. I didn't realize that we only had a partial box of this. Otherwise, I would have bought some from the store. So I'll be using this, but since I don't have enough noodles to make the pasta salad in the increments that I've measured, based on the increments that I've measured out, so I'm just going to use these macaroni noodles as well. So basically I'm going to be combining these. I mean, they pretty much work the same way. Boil water, salt to taste, and then add the pasta and reboil. Cook uncovered for like 9 to 11 minutes. Directions are basically the same for both of these types of noodles. So it's gonna be a ghetto looking pasta salad, but my hope is that it tastes good. It's not always about appearances. Sometimes it's just about the taste. So, I mean, I would love to have a pasta salad with just these, but it's honestly, it's not enough. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna boil both of these noodles together. Okay, so the noodles are boiling now. They've got about 2 more minutes left, and then I'm gonna drain them, and then I have to make the dressing, which I've actually kind of already started on. I'm gonna just stir these noodles real quick. So anyway, the dressing, it calls for parsley flakes. I've got those right here. Olives, which I've measured those out and I put them in the fridge. And then, because it's like really dark that way, salt, basil, oregano, and you can use either actual garlic, like sliced or chopped garlic, I think, or you can use garlic powder. I just use garlic powder. Oh, it's also got sugar in it, so that mixture is right there. And then I have to mix it with white vinegar and water, I think, has to be added to it. And then once that's done, it said to either put it in a jar or put it in like a blender to mix the dressing. So that ought to be easy. And then tomatoes and olives, I'm putting those in here as well. I personally, I'm not a fan of olives. These are the ones that I'm using that they suggested for the recipe were like Greek olives, which I eat all the time from Panera. Like if you go to Panera, they have these things called the Mediterranean grain bowls, which they are really good. If you have not tried them, you need to. And you get that, and it's got I want to say it's like Greek yogurt on it, or is it sour cream? I'm not quite sure, but anyway, so the Panera Bread Mediterranean bowl has Greek olives on it, and those I will eat. But like just plain the black olives, for whatever reason I can't eat them. And honestly, the Greek olives were kind of like an acquired taste for me, because even when they came on the Mediterranean grain bowl, I didn't actually eat them initially. And then one day I was like, well, let me just go ahead and try the olives with the rest of the meal, and it was actually really good. So anyway, at this point they've been up here about 10 minutes now, so I'm just gonna stir it one more time, and then I am gonna drain these. You turn it off, and then I'm gonna close ahead and drain them. And I apologize, but right now the kitchen's kind of a mess because I'm doing this and then I'm doing the cheesecake. The sour cream and cream cheese need to be room temperature or pretty close to it. Main thing is just to get them softened up so that when I get ready to mix them for the cheesecake that they're soft enough that they do mix well. So I've just kind of got that sitting on the counter, and then I've got the other ingredients I've already measured out. But I'm gonna go ahead and drain these noodles really quick. I don't know where my parents got this, but it's really old and it's one we've been using for years. Need to get them another one, but they already have, they have another one I think down here, but no one really uses it. Yep, hold up. I want y'all to be able to see. I don't know how y'all gonna see though. How y'all gonna see? And do like that. That good? I think that is good right there. Okay. That steam is no joke. I have heard stories. I do not personally want to experience it. So what I'm gonna do with these noodles, I am actually going to put them in. So it said allow to cool slightly and then to toss with oil. So what I'm gonna do, it's in here, but I'm gonna pour it in this bowl here. The noodles. All right. So. There we go. I mean, it looks okay. Once you mix it up, I guess it'll be fine. I'm just let it cool a little bit. Lightly toss with oil after it cools. We're gonna go ahead and get ready to start like mixing up our dressing and stuff. We got this already. I'm gonna use a little Ziploc container for this. This is my dressing right here, basically. All right, so I'm about to put a little bit of olive oil in this bowl right here and just kind of toss. Just, that's a little bit more than what I want. I'm gonna pour some of this up. I think we are good with that. Okay, so I'm shaking up the dressing now. And I'm heating up the oven for the cheesecake. The ingredients ought to be warm enough now for that cheesecake, hopefully. So it's been sitting out not that long. It's recommended to only let it sit out for an hour just because they're like milk products, and if you let them sit out for too long, then it's possible that bacteria can start growing, and that's not good. So, and then some people have recorded or have noted that they've had the ingredients out for several hours and nobody got sick and they're perfectly fine. So in my experience, I never had a problem with that. I've never let it sit out for more than a couple hours though. Like some people might do like several days, or maybe not several days, but maybe like a day. But once this dressing's done, we'll go ahead and we're gonna put the tomatoes and the olives in the bowl. The only thing that I have not done was I needed to use like 8 ounces of mozzarella cheese and cut it in half. But honestly, what I'm gonna do, it's a 16-ounce ball of mozzarella cheese, like it's one big ball of cheese. So what I am going to do, I'm actually going to cut that in half and then just crumble it up and put it in the pasta salad. Make my life easy. I couldn't find the mozzarella cheese balls like they're saying. Use the mozzarella cheese balls and cut them in half. But honestly, I think this dressing ought to be pretty well mixed, don't you? It smells good. So I'm gonna pour that all over. Here are the tomatoes. Put those in. And then here are olives. Olives. Dump those in there. I only need 8 ounces. Well, actually, I don't need 8 ounces. I actually need 4 ounces because I'm halving the recipe. Parsley. So Parsley, we got that. I almost forgot about it. Dump that in here. One of my other videos, y'all saw where I talked about gnats. And they like to sneak in the house. They like to sneak in the house on people's hair. I have seen them. I'll be outside playing with Jax or whatever. And I come in here, wash my hands, go to the bathroom. And I'll see like little gnats in my hair. And I'm like, oh great, they hitched a ride. So I am going to go ahead and I'm gonna cut this cheese open. And we're only gonna use 4 ounces of it. So I'm only gonna use like a quarter of the cheese. I'm gonna crumble it up, put it in here, and then we'll literally be done with this pasta salad, and then we can move on to other things. Okay, so here's the mozzarella cheese. I'll break it up into little chunks and put it in this pasta salad. My mom is going to do the ribs today. She wanted my dad to help out. So she's going to be doing the ribs with him outside. And I guess he's going to tell her exactly what to do. So that would be good. One day I'm gonna have the opportunity to actually do my ribs and do them right. So now the last time that I did ribs, they were good, but they didn't have a lot of fat on them. So anytime you get meat that does not have a lot of fat, it does not typically need to cook as long. So I cooked it for the typical time or typical temperature and duration that you would normally cook spare ribs, but because they didn't have a lot of fat on them, they cooked a little bit quicker than what we would have expected. And so of course your meat is not going to be as nice and juicy when you're done if it does not have that fat on it. So it's not always good. Like, it's good to have lean meat, but you don't want your meat so lean that it doesn't have any fat and that it doesn't cook well. That's the oven. But yeah, you don't want your meat so lean that it doesn't have any fat and it doesn't cook or it doesn't have any flavor, because fat is ultimately really what really gives meat its nice flavoring, and it also helps the meat to cook and not dry out, because you don't want to eat dry meat. So sometimes you have to gauge recipes based on how much fat's on there. If it doesn't have as much fat, then you might either want to cook it at a lower temperature, and cook it at a lower temperature, and you can still cook it at the regular duration. Or if you cook it at a high temperature, then you want to cook it at for a shorter time. So cook it high and fast, or cook it low and slow. I guess that's a nice little motto to live by. That's what it looks like. It's pretty. It's like right now, if you try to eat it, because the noodles are still, I'm sure that they're still relatively warm, it's not going to taste as good as it will later once it's been sitting in the fridge for a little while and everything gets to actually gel together. All right, that is it. I'm thinking that maybe what I'll do is I will go ahead and measure out the ingredients for the cheesecake, and then I will catch up with you all once that is done, and then we'll get back together, or we will reconvene and mix up the ingredients. TV's in the background. So my parents just woke up and my dad just had breakfast, and I think they are going to go out and fix the ribs now. So while I was waiting on them to get everything taken care of, I went ahead and mixed everything up for the crust. So basically all the crust is,
with more than 57,000 confirmed and one
it's
day to over 2.8 million. And as we noted earlier, the pandemic has
all right, I'm just gonna turn this off because yeah. All right, so basically the crust, all it is, it's the Honey Made graham crackers and butter and sugar. So this is it right here. I went ahead and just spread it on the pan. And from my experience, the crust always, for whatever reason, it always seems to stick to the pan. So I actually ended up spraying it with some Pam. So hopefully that keeps the crust from sticking, and hopefully we can get more of that crust when we get ready to eat it. And it's like we're having to scrape the bottom to get the crust off. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start actually mixing for this cake. So basically it's literally cream cheese, sour cream, eggs, and vanilla. And then I think we gotta add, I'm pretty sure we have to add sugar in here as well. So right now, I'm putting in, and unfortunately, I'm dealing with a lot of like having to cut recipes, having to make adjustments. So with this, technically I needed 3 of these bars of cream cheese, but I only bought 1, and then we had like half of a bar in the fridge left. So pretty much everything, because it said I needed 3 bars, 3 of these things, and I got 1/2, I'm just gonna cut everything in half. So let's just go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump the cream cheese in here, and actually, yeah, I'll go ahead and I'm gonna dump the cream cheese in here now, and then I'll measure out the sugar. So it said we need 1 cup of sugar, but I'm only gonna do 1/2 cup. This is one recipe that I like to use for cheesecake, but I have another recipe that I use as well. And with the other recipe, when you make the crust, you automatically put the crust into the oven. But this one's a little bit different. This one, I guess you bake, it's like you bake everything in the oven together. So like the crust right now is just sitting on the oven. And then once this is done, we'll pour it into the crust, and then we'll put everything in the oven together. I noticed that we have a little friend in our kitchen. I saw a little gnat flying around when I was mixing the crust. I guess he smelled the Honey Maid and the sugar together, and he was trying to get all over it, but it ain't happening. Try again. All right, so that's the cream cheese right there. I'm gonna cover this up while we do the sugar. I'm all about covering up food because I'm really particular about my food, and I know other people are too. I don't want to fix anything for anybody that I myself would not eat. Maybe once this is done, we'll go outside and check on them. Cause like literally this cake takes no time. Cheesecake is seriously one of the easiest cakes you could possibly ever make. As far as the cream cheese and sour cream, you seriously don't have to measure that stuff out at all. Typically. But you know, I gotta be extra. I gotta be extra and not get the right amount. So I have to measure out everything, and I have to make my own calculations. I can't even go by the recipe. I have to divide everything in half or figure out what the measurements ought to be, you know. Apparently I just like make my own life hard. It's just really sad. There's my cup right there. I'm gonna measure out half. So half is right there. The container's wet, and pretty much, you know, if you're measuring in a wet container like that, it's gonna stick. So this I am going to pour into our mixing bowl over here, and then we gotta beat it. Now, while this is one of the easier recipes to make, you want to be mindful of the fact that it does have cream cheese in it, and anything with cream cheese is going to be fattening. Like, there's no way around that whole situation. We're going to mix this on medium speed until well blended, and then we're going to add the sour cream, which this calls for a whole cup. I'll do 1/2 cup since we split everything in half. So I'm going to go ahead and start beating this. And then while that's happening, I'm going to go ahead and measure out the 1/2 cup of sour cream. I want to say that's half of this, right? How many ounces is 1 cup, y'all? Honestly, I don't even really need to measure this out, because this whole thing right here is 8 ounces, so this is a whole cup right here. I'll just split the whole thing in half and dump half this container in there. It's mixing up pretty well, but I'm going to scrape the sides down. Okay. And then get this little chunk out. Get these chunks out of here. And what these chunks are from, we had half a bar of cream cheese in the fridge and I didn't realize it. And so my mom just recently took it out. So that bar of cream cheese was still cold. So that, I'm sure, is probably what's not really mixing that well right now. I miss this mixer so much. After making those potatoes the other day, I miss this thing. So what I'm gonna end up doing is, because honestly my mom is right, I do not need to be dragging this mixer everywhere, because I mean it's an expensive piece of machinery, so I don't really need to be dragging it. I don't really need to be dragging it to my house and then back to this house. So what I'm gonna do is probably leave this one with them, and then I'll probably get another one to have at my house, so I have one at both places. So if I want to bake here I can, or if I want to bake at my house I can do that too. This looks pretty well, which I think, thumbs up. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the sour cream in here. So the thing about that sour cream, we might decide that we want to use the sour cream for something else. Like, you know, if we do like tacos, one day, you want to do like one of those taco supremes from Taco Bell, you use sour cream for that. So I don't want to mess it up in case we decide to use it for like a taco night. So that is about half. About half. Whoop. I'm always having to cut these recipes. One day I'm gonna do a full out recipe and I'm gonna use the exact measurements. I don't think I've used the exact measurements with you all yet. I have, but I have not done it on camera yet. For whatever reason, when I get on camera, I want to make things difficult and a little more complicated than they need to be. All right, so we're gonna do half a teaspoon, and then we're gonna mix that up. I love vanilla. Next up, we need to put eggs in here. So it says 3 eggs. I need to do 1.5 eggs. That don't even make sense, right? So I'm gonna put a whole egg in here, and then I'm gonna just wing it otherwise. Maybe I'll do 1 egg, and then the other half egg, I guess I'll put it in a bowl and then cut the egg yolk in half and dump, or take a spoon and put like that half in there. You're putting eggs in one at a time, so you're not just dumping the eggs in here at once. That's 1. I'm gonna scrape the sides on this. So this is my whole egg right here. I'm just gonna cut it. Your price is way too high, you need to cut it. Your price is way too high, you need to cut it. Alright, so that's half of the yolk right there. And then pour some of this liquid in there. Let's come on over here and we're gonna pour our cheesecake into the pan. So here we go. Nothing beats a homemade cake. Like I mentioned in another video, you want to make sure that you wipe around the rim, because like you see this part right here, that's gonna burn if I don't. I haven't quite finished cleaning, but I've cleaned up most of my stuff. There's a couple things I still have to, a couple of small things I still have to wash, but it looks like they're gonna do the ribs now. Thank you. Oh, you don't have to open it that wide. Getting paid minimum wage.
I'm not getting paid at all. That's what I'm getting paid. Nothing at all. Take this off there.
You gotta take that off.
He's a comedian.
Yes, ma'am. I can't have this music playing though, but I can change it. I can put something else.
Just cut it off.
Oh no, not my battery low. I got another battery in there.
Oh, look at
I can run and change it real quick.
Look at the meat.
Okay.
And we're just gonna take it and put it on the top shelf there?
Yeah.
Is it seasoned well enough, you
If we
think?
gonna close it down and let it rip.
Okay. So let's just take it. I wish I had gloves, right? Okay. Dad says just to pick it up. Pick it up. And put it on there. That's perfect. That's like television.
Turn that buddy end back around the other way.
What?
It's a thicker piece of meat and the fire is hotter.
So what am I
Toward
going to,
Chester.
so what am I going to do now?
Turn it around
Mm.
I'm
from
using
north to south.
There's always something. Cause the meat set on the
Yes, always.
the meat set on the tray. Everybody looking at it. And
Yeah,
once you put it on there, that'll move from this smoke.
that
People
smoked
just
something
sit there,
else.
yeah. Whenever you're doing this with somebody, tell them all the ins and outs first. Don't wait until it's done and then say, "Oh, you shouldn't have put eggs in that cake."
Oh, don't get in
That's
trouble.
like, that looks hotter to me. That end looks hotter to me. So the embers are, yeah.
Yeah, y'all need to keep going back and forth, switching the meat now.
I'm not. Let me put it in.
Okay, now we need to close it down and let it cook.
Okay, let me see.
Close
first.
it down and let
Give
it
me-
cook.
yeah, give me a moment because the smoke is in my eye, right?
Yes, ma'am. It made me cry last time.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have smoke in your eye. You can see. No, you know what? Let's just close it down. That's what I need to just close it down like this. And that's it.
I guess we just let it cook. How long does it have to cook for?
After that, I
Well, we just look at it.
Okay.
this fan back here, this exercise thing, I need some help.
Luckily for the both of us, I keep batteries charged.
Big fan to working, so they said move it over there. So I moved it over there and start working.
Oh,
Get the move fast.
all your fault. You need to get yourself together.
This foil. I was trying to get I was gonna put my visor on. I don't know where I put it.
Dad out here chilling.
There's other things that we all need to do. Just cut them out of the packs, the hot dogs.
Oh yeah, and
this,
the burgers.
Yeah, they're easy. What did I come in for?
Thought you came in for that pan.
Yeah. Brought me some help.
How much help y'all need?
And I brought me some help.
How much help you need?
Help me get Dad.
Yeah, okay. Cheesecake is almost ready. Oh no, my phone going off.
Can you tell when they're brown on one side?
Okay.
Then
And
just
get the
turn to the other
glow.
side.
That's what it looks like. Now you gotta eat our food first.
That's got the chill too, ain't it?
Yeah, it's gotta chill in the fridge.
No, man.
So now we have to wait for it to cool and then we put it in the fridge and let it refrigerate for 4 hours, it said.
And then we eat.
Yeah, and then we get to eat it. Okay, so we're about to go and check on the ribs now.
So you think it's good to get it off, Jesse?
Yeah, I'm coming out.
We're gonna
Oh,
go and
okay.
check on the ribs now.
And
Come on, family.
Come on, gang. 8, gang
Wait,
of
I
3.
got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Come on, gang of 3. There's a gang of 8. Ask for
We're trying to walk out the frame.
I'm gonna open it there. I'll open it before you come so you don't get all that smoke.
Go ahead.
I need goggles. Looks good.
Look at that.
Okay.
Your hair
Lift it up. Turn it over.
Turn over again.
Just let it cook right there.
now. Alright, so we're taking the ribs off.
Well,
Go, Mom.
Come on. Come on. I need a taste for a piece.
Yeah, I guess you can. There ain't nothing but fat.
Well, that's alright. It's hot right now. Alrighty, Jazz. You need to open the door for me.
Yes, ma'am.
Come in.
Time for hamburgers and hot dogs.
Hamburgers and hot dogs and
Hamburgers and hot
hamburgers and
dogs.
hot dogs.
The hot dogs here. I guess those are hamburgers in that plate.
Yeah.
Somebody said that about my ribs.
What's up?
Then we can cut it.
Yeah, can you bring? Oh, I have to come back.
What?
The casserole dish is what I'm gonna put these in.
Oh, okay.
But we can get it later. We can do this.
Okay. Well, yeah, because we'll get that when it's done, right? We'll put it in there when it's done. We got time. Mom said she the one grilling today.
I left the spatulas in. Oh, well.
Oh.
That's fine. I'll put this on in there. Did I say spray that?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, the fire picking up. Hot dogs.
I really like to have those tongues, but because they said do these.
Where are they?
With the you'll see when you go.
Okay. What? Oh. These are the other ones.
Yeah, that's good. That'll work. And just go ahead and put these little burgers on there.
Like Krabby Patties.
He said, "Nash."
Okay, so I'm heading back here to get Buddy now. And then we're gonna take him out to use the bathroom. It's like 12:46. He typically goes out about 12:30. So it's a little bit late. What you doing, man? Jax. What you doing, man? Oh, Lord. You didn't pee in there, did you?
Yeah, it's doing good. And I talked to Kat.
Come on. Look at him, just nosy. Good boy. Alright. So normally we would leave him outside and let him play. But one, it's hot outside. Two, we're trying to cook out there. And so we don't want him necessarily jumping up on the grill while we're trying to cook. Okay, so mom is out here talking on the phone while she's cooking. It's not always the best thing. Sometimes my mom talks and gets kind of sidetracked with stuff. So I gotta come out here and watch her and make sure she's doing what she's supposed to do. But other than that, I am going to mute the video right now.
What do you think, Jazz?
Looks good. The people on YouTube, I had to come out here and check on you.
Why?
Yes, because you were talking on the phone.
I was talking to Kathy.
You know how you do when you talk.
Yeah, but she just called to see. Check
Mom
to
be
see.
taking the wrong exits and everything.
I'll go out and get that. We can ride by the store and see whether or not they're not that busy. Can run in and get the cranberry. That's what I was saying.
Yay! We gonna have raspberry sauce.
Oh.
Maybe.
That's good.
Maybe.
Can you do blueberry sauce? You have blueberries in there.
I don't know if anybody does. Anybody do cheesecake and blueberries?
We do. We do. Well, If you get the raspberry, you use the raspberry and then drop the blueberries.
Well, comment below if you do blueberry sauce with cheesecake. We're curious to know.
Yeah. Well, we had those restaurants. That sauce is not raspberry all the time.
Well, sometimes it's raspberry, sometimes it's strawberry or like chocolate.
Cass, you don't know everything.
I don't, but that's typically what they have on the menu.
Well, just get some chocolate.
No, they have like strawberry cheesecake and turtle cheesecake. So I guess you could use like chocolate or caramel syrup.
You think it's done?
It looks like they're done. How long did they say to cook them? They look.
I think 6 minutes on each side. But they said on medium heat. Let's see, he's kicking. Tell Tanya weird. Jesse's stuff is finishing. This is mine. This is mine.
Uh-oh, here come Dad. Close your eyes. That smoke is no joke.
Think these good?
Yeah.
Time to take them off?
Press down on it to see if it, how much grease come out.
We're officially done cooking our meal for the day. It's very disheartening and very disappointing to find out that all of the raspberries were molded except for 2. So I'll be excited to actually make my raspberry sauce, and I will record that for you all. It's super simple. It's like raspberries, sugar, and then like some lemon juice. So it's like a super simple recipe. And here they come now with the meat.
Well, that's it.
So with that said, I guess I'll go ahead and shut this down for right now. And if we go to the store, then I might record us getting in the car and heading to the store, and we'll see what the store looks like. And then if it looks okay, then we'll go in, and then if not, then I guess we'll be coming back home and no raspberry sauce for us. Okay, so I just finished cooking the raspberries and mixing in the sugar. The sugar's dissolved. It's been 7 minutes now, so I'm about to strain the raspberries so that we will now have our raspberry sauce. Okay, so we went to the store, we got raspberries, so now I'm working on the raspberry sauce. Sugar, lemon juice, raspberries, and a little bit of water. And we have to combine it over medium heat, 3 to 7 minutes. The raspberry sauce.
I'm just fixing some raspberry sauce. For the cheesecake.
You should wash their hand right here now. Oh, I'm a boy as much
Yeah, that can be good, yeah.
I know that.
Yeah, she made me give it over. And they really do. They don't last.
See y'all later on this evening. Talk to y'all later. So it's this lady that's singing opera on that TV behind me, and my dad's asking me to turn it down. He said turn it off. She almost done.